Hello and welcome, everyone. It's been quite a long time since I've sat down and recorded a video. I hope the audio sounds good. You'll notice things look a bit different here, and I'll get into that in a moment. Wanting to do kind of an update video. It's been a really challenging year. It seems obvious to say, but yeah, it's been a long year, hard year. Been having a lot of changes happening. You know, the pandemic kind of being the last straw for a lot of things. I wanted to make a video here to kind of update you on what's going on and kind of what I'm going to be doing with this channel and with other things with coffee. So really, this is for those of you who've been following and watching and listening and subscribing to the magazine for a very long time. I really appreciate your support over the years. Gonna be some more good stuff coming soon. That's the plan. But it might look a little bit different going forward. Anyway, before I get into that, really just want some coffee. This is from Conduit Coffee, honey processed Costa Rica, and actually this is new cup that Jesse sent me. So spoiler alert, I moved, and in the move, I shattered the old cup. Oh, but this honey processed Costa Rica is good. It's really fitting for the time of year for this is gonna be a good Thanksgiving coffee. It's kind of got, man, I've got cranberry on the mind. It's because of Thanksgiving, but it's kind of got like a cranberry fruitiness to it, like fruit that you'd get on a pecan pie or something like that. In any case, this would go extremely well with pie. Jesse and I talked a little bit about this. We've already recorded our Thanksgiving show for the podcast. I'll get into that in a moment. And he's going to be making his holiday blend soon. So whatever I mention on here today, I'll link below. So like Conduit, some other stuff. Go find Conduit, get some coffee. And as you can see, I'm still mostly brewing on the Kalita Wave. So since the cat's out of the bag, I'll get into I moved. So this is a totally new space, as you can see. And it's a new setup, in a lot of ways for me. I've never really 100% lit any of my filming or photography or anything that I've done. I always have used natural light. I just appreciate natural light in a lot of ways, and got used to the process of putting together videos and photos using natural light. I've moved into a house which doesn't have an office and recording space, so I got an office for just doing my work in general, and also for recording, and there's like no natural light in this space. So on the other hand, it's now a place I can set up to be kind of like a film and recording studio, which is pretty cool. So I'm working out a whole bunch of new lighting and everything. Of course, as you can see, I've got the station still playing around with some blue light. I've got this guy here, a light back up there. I'm really just kind of don't know exactly how this is all going to pan out. But this seems like a good setup to start with. That's the first thing. I've moved, new recording space. Hopefully that means I'm going to be able to do more consistent videos. I haven't been able to do much this year, and I want to get into that right now, really. So if you've been following the channel for a long time, you probably heard me talk about Coffee Lovers Magazine or Extracted Magazine, which is a business that I've run for a number of years. Actually, it'll be 8 years in less than a month from the day that I started it. And for a long time, it was all that I did. It was my primary form of work. That started to change with changes in the market and other challenges. I don't want to get into it a huge level here, but when I started the magazine, I knew absolutely But certainly by comparison, I want to say I knew absolutely nothing about business. I've learned a fair amount along the way, of course, and that's changed how I've decided to do business and conduct myself and that sort of thing. And I'm probably going to do another video on this, but long story short, I like to ramble. Long story short, the COVID was kind of the last straw with that. There were some technical problems on the back end, and I had to, and this actually started last year. I started trying to establish a different line of work so I didn't have to rely on income from the magazine. And it's a good thing I did that, because this year that kind of just flat out fell apart, mainly due to technical problems on the back end. Not going to get into that. Like I said, my primary work now is actually not in coffee. My primary work is as a copywriter, as an email copywriter. And I don't want to talk a lot about that on here, because that's not what this channel is about. If you're interested to see that side of things, you can comment below and I can point you to, I have a very simple website set up for that work. I'm mostly just contract freelance. That's all I'm going to say about that. If you want to know more, you can comment below. Otherwise, I'm not going to link to it or anything. That's not what this is about. This channel, Coffee Lovers TV. Okay, here's the fun part, and the reason why I wanted to explain all that. Coffee is not my main source of income anymore. In fact, it's not, honestly, at the moment, not really any source of income other than keeping itself going. Like, it pays for itself. The magazine, the YouTube channel contributes a decent amount. I don't make any money from this work, essentially. So I have been feeling an extended sense of freedom with the topics and the way that I do things, which is a bit challenging to explain, because it's not like I've always had at the heart of the work that I'm doing a sense of purpose, a mission, if you will. Just really passionate about helping people get into specialty coffee and understand what it's all about, to have that very deeply human connection with this thing that we all enjoy and all of the people involved. There's more that I can say about that I've said before, and which I'll say again in different videos. What I'm trying to explain is I've always had at the heart of the content that I create that kind of mission and moral imperative. However, I've also been driven by a need to grow a business and make a living. That need is whenever you're doing a creative thing and you have that need on a baser level that's greater than the other parts, you need to make a living, so you kind of have to put that first, essentially, is what I'm saying. So that need has always driven a lot of the choices that I've made. And now that need is gone, I am finding myself approaching the work and thinking about it differently. And I think differently, more freely. I don't have the concern about putting a video up. I'm sharing a lot more on here than I would before, and it doesn't concern me, opening up like that, which is, intellectually, I have an understanding from a business and a marketing perspective that that's the kind of mindset that you want anyways. But it's one thing to understand that you want the mindset and to try to put yourself in that mindset actively. But as long as you have the need to have your basic needs met by the work that you're doing, there's always going to be that strain, and that's gone now. So new office, recording studio that hopefully I'll keep evolving. I'm not 100% satisfied with this setup. I have some ideas of what I want to turn it into, but I figure, I can spend a lot of time trying to make it perfect, or I can just start and then make adjustments along the way. I'd love it, those of you who are experienced making videos in this fashion, like all the lighting, please let me know your thoughts, suggestions. Happy to take all of them. Right now I have, let me just scooch without bumping into things. So I have the brewing station here as I did before. In the apartment, it was kind of jammed into a corner, but I had a lot of natural light, which was really nice. Here, no natural light, all like lit with lights that I have. I want to do like add some interesting dynamics, I guess, with kind of colored gels and stuff, just kind of in the background. But I might be reaching on that. I got a new set of lights for this, and I was just excited to play around with that. So that's kind of why I'm doing that right now. But I kind of like having the different dynamics in the background. So this is a very basic setup. It's still a little challenging as I have to sit in front of this and do demonstrations, but I'm going to play around with that and see how it goes. I could I could change things up significantly in the long run with this layout. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. We're still Coffee Lovers TV. I've talked before about changing the channel to Extracted. Until I know exactly how the magazine business is going to pan out, I think I'm going to keep this Coffee Lovers TV. One thing I've been wanting to do for a while, and I feel almost certain that I'll get to this, it's just a low priority, is I want to add all of the podcast episodes to the channel in a playlist. So, and the podcast is Coffee Lovers Radio. And this all, those of you who've been watching a long time know this, but this all stems from the magazine was originally called Coffee Lovers Magazine, and I was doing this whole like media ecosystem thing. And then I decided to change things up, and now we're in a different place. So I might change the channel name eventually, but I'm going to keep it as is for now. And then also I may add all of the podcast episodes, or possibly a smaller chunk, or just chunks over time. We have published almost 180 episodes, so that would be a lot of videos to add. A lot of videos which are just audio, right? So it'd just be like audio with a still picture. But I'm seeing other podcasters do this on YouTube, and it seems like a really good way to build the podcast audience, and just make good use of, like, we have a lot of really good content. We've talked about a lot of interesting things. Those of you who want to just listen to that in podcast form, it's coffeeloversradio.com. I'll link to that below. So I made one more note here about the kinds of content that I'm going to talk about. Coffee content is challenging when your focus is on specialty coffee. So we're talking about specialty coffee and the exploration of it, and a lot of times, unless you're connecting with and sharing the stories of other people in that world, which I try to do. I don't really do that much with the channel. I've been doing that with the magazine. So unless you're doing that, then like in my space here, I can like kind of review coffees, or like sample, taste, and share, that kind of thing. Do like product reviews, demonstrations, how-tos, that sort of thing. That ends up being a very small kind of world of coffee. And when other people do similar things, it makes for, I don't know if a stale environment is the right thing to say, but it feels challenging to have vastly different dynamics without getting into a huge amount of production. Like one way that I could do a lot of things differently is if I put a lot into like a lot of investment into production and did vastly different kinds of videos. But what I have in my capability is me talking to the camera, me showing you things on camera, that sort of thing is largely what I'm able to do and what I'm going to keep doing. One of the benefits, so I'm coming back to that point I was talking about, where I'm not reliant on the income of the coffee work at all anymore. So one of the benefits with this is I don't feel like I need to hold back on anything negative. One of the things I did with this channel and with the magazine and all that work at the beginning is I tried to focus on all the positive things. There are a couple reasons for that. One was it's easy to like kind of trash another like someone else's work, a product, bad coffee, something like that. It's easy to just be like, this is garbage, and try to make a thing about it. That kind of drama is something that really pulls people in. I wanted to avoid that for a couple of reasons. One, there's so much like good in coffee that there's like no need to get into a lot of that. Number two, there was honestly the layer of I didn't want to alienate people in the industry. There was always a threat of jeopardizing the business if I got overly critical about something. And honestly, the coffee industry can be really vicious on itself. It's very like the inner workings of the industry are very insular, I guess. And if you if you get on the wrong side of the way that like the core of the industry feels, you're you can really become kind of an outcast in that world, it seems like to me. I haven't been in that position, but I think I've seen that experience with other people. So I have just personally, I have criticisms of the industry and the way things go. There are aspects about coffee that I have a lot of problems with, and I've always avoided talking about them for a combination of those two reasons. Here's where it comes back to I don't rely on the coffee work anymore to make a living. And one of the things that I've gone back to thinking about more deeply is how I'm serving you. So that's what this has really become about is I'm not trying to make a business to make a living, to make money anymore. Although I'm still trying to run what I'm doing as a business, so there will be aspects of that. But my honest primary focus is now turned towards where it should be and where a lot of it has been, but as I talked about before, there's always that dynamic when you have a basic need, is turned towards you and how to best serve you and help you and provide joy and excitement and enlightenment and all those sorts of things. And when I think about that, I also think, okay, what do I know? What is my understanding? Because you're coming here not to see some brew guide because you can look up 1,000 brew guides. You're coming here to see my take on things, right? Or you stumbled across this and you're curious and you're listening. Those of you who are still listening at this point in this video, you're here, I assume, because of me. Thank you. And I assume that you are wanting to hear my take and understanding on things because all of us in coffee, each person who does a thing has a different take and understanding. We all have like, those of us who get into it get the basic knowledge and go in depth and get the depth of knowledge, but there's still that aspect of each of our own individual humanities where we process and understand and think about things differently. So there are a few subjects out there which I think I believe you should know and understand, which are not positive subjects. They are challenging ones. They are problems that I see with the industry and the world. And I want to spend some time looking into them and talking about them and making them a subject matter that hopefully you care about as well. I'm hoping that I will be able to have the time and the planning to go through and do all those things. That is the goal. And of course, to do all this with my core mission, which is to get more people into specialty coffee and move us all into a world where people matter more than things. I know I'm dropping a loaded comment at the end there because that's a whole conversation on its own. But that is at the heart of a lot of my motivation in the work that I do. So thank you for watching. I know it's been a long time since I've done a video. Hopefully I can get this setup down and just start cranking out videos. I have a really long list of things to do, and it should be possible for me to just start doing them on a regular basis, and especially having a setup that I don't need to take up and put down all the time. That was one of the really annoying challenges about working out of my apartment and like filming out of the apartment as well, is every time I wanted to record a video, I had to take all the stuff out, set it up, and then record and then take it down. And that, maybe that doesn't sound like much, but gosh, it's enough to really stifle the creative process for me, all that extra nonsense. So Hopefully this new thing will make all that easier. Again, thank you for watching. Would love to hear your thoughts on anything that I've said, especially if you have suggestions about the filming. I still am not sure exactly what I want to do, but this seems like a good start. So, cheers. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.